Hello, everyone. This is the video tutorial for your Frankenstein's monster project. You can see that it's quite a complicated project, and I have so much to talk to you about. So I think I'm going to break up this video into into two parts. So I'm going to talk a lot about the requirements for the project, and then just gathering images, and then how to start it, and then how to cut out different images using masks and things like that. So there's a lot to talk about. And so just wanted to show you, this is my example that I made. And you can see that I made it quite relevant to what's happening right now, right? So here's Grumpy Cat wearing a mask, and he has little thermometers that he has in his little claw here, and his little Woody from Toy Story's holster belt here. But he has a champion. He has Rocky's arm, so he's gonna prevail and get through it. So there's that little sign of hope there. So hopefully we can manage through this crazy time. And um, before I even start talking, I'm gonna say I hate having to do this at home and not see you guys. So I'm really missing that interaction. So I'm sad that we're only having to do it this way, but at least hopefully you guys have some, I'm really working hard, giving you guys some projects that you can enjoy doing at home and hopefully take your mind off of things. So here's Grumpy Cat with the mask down, and I brought his mask down with the um, warp tool and the puppet warp tool, which I haven't even shown you yet. So you can probably have some fun using the puppet warp tool. And then let's see. Oh, I put them in a little different background setting, different lighting, and was just playing around with different things there. And then I was like, okay, what else can I do? Oh, yeah. Okay. And then, okay. So I have to tell you, when I first started this project, I'm like, what in the world am I going to do? And then, of course, since I had I had Chloe and Zach home last week, and then Brittany and her boyfriend were here. So my kids were here. And I was like, okay, help me, give me some ideas. So they all gave me ideas. They told me Baby Yoda. And then they were like, oh, yeah, definitely use the Ron Swanson mustache and use Rocky's body, Transformer legs. So they, gave me all these really great ideas. So I would say to you, go around and ask family members or your friends some ideas for your monster, because it's hard to come up with everything. But then, when I was talking to my kids, they were giving me ideas, and then one was feeding off another one. And then we were just sort of brainstorming. And so that's how I came up with the ones that I made this past week. So anyway, and it all started here with this lovely Grumpy Cat here. So, it takes a while to get started, but then once you get started, like I then became obsessed and I couldn't stop working on it. And then I kept thinking, oh, do this and do that. And hopefully that happens to you too. Cause I thought it was very therapeutic for me this past week. And I actually had fun doing it. So hopefully this project will be the same for you. And I hope that it gives you, takes your mind off of things. Okay. That's what art does for me. And hopefully it will do the same for you as well. Okay, so let's see. Where do I want to go? Let's see. I want to go now to Google Classroom. So in Google Classroom, you see the Frankenstein's monster project. Oh, actually, let me go back. Okay, so here we are. And I want to first show you this here. Okay, and this is where the idea began. So I have been following this teacher, and she teaches computer graphic arts in Chicago, and this is her webpage, and her students' projects are here. So I started looking at her stuff last year, and then I saw what she did with her students. And I'm like, oh my God, that looks so fun. And it's teaching you like great skills. And, the shadow is a part of one of the requirements. So I was like, okay, we can do this. And so last year, my students were the first ones to do it, with my students anyway. And they only had these examples to look at. So now you have these examples, and then you have students from last year's examples to look at to even give you more inspiration. So check out these great examples here. And then I want to show you, oh shoot. And then I also wanted to show you that within this page here, she has a little video that she made. Yeah, so here's her video. Okay. Now in this video, she has you using, I think, the eraser tool. And I really want you, to use that at your last resort. I rather you use masking, and because that's something that you need to really practice with. So you can watch this video and, sort of check it out. And she'll give you some good tips here. I think she talks about puppet warp in here as well. But I do want you to cut out your selections with the select and mask, and I want you to use vector masks for this project, okay? So anyway, so that's there. And then you have the instructions here. And then these two papers here are the cast shadows. And I know that we did this one. Oh, shoot. I don't know why it's showing that. But I think that you can maybe let me know if you can't have access to these, but I think that you can. But this is what you guys made right before we, right before our break, before this craziness happened. So this was a shadow, and in Google Classroom, in case you did not do your cast shadow, you will need to know how to do that. So I want you guys to make sure that you come here and do your shadow. And I think I have a video in there as well for you. Okay. So, oh shoot, let's come up here. Okay. Now, check out the instructions here. And before we do that, let me show you some examples. Check out the student examples, and just get this pulled up. Okay, so basically you're going to be, so the instructions are you have to use at least 12 images. Okay, and you need to make your monster with arms and or hands must be different. Monster's legs and or feet must be different. Monster's head and body must be different. Monster's head or body can match only one of your arms or legs, and then must show full body. So some of my students last year did not meet all my requirements. So, or, I also changed some of the requirements this year for you, because I think it's funnier when most everything is different. And so I changed some of those requirements. So if these examples are not meeting the requirements, make sure that you do meet them. Okay. And make sure that you also have full body, because your shadow is a part of the requirements. Okay. And we'll talk about shadows in the video tutorials. Now, I do want to mention that if you are wanting to exaggerate a body part for, just for comedy reasons or just for making it funny, you can exaggerate body parts. Like this student here exaggerated the arms compared to the skinny legs. And then you got this little teeny little rose in his hand. So, that does make it funny when you do that. So check them out. They really did a good job last year, and I know that you guys will do an excellent job this year. Super excited to see what you guys are going to come up with, and can't wait to see what you're doing. Okay. So anyway, okay, that's that. So check those out. And then what else do I want to show you? Okay, here's the instructions here. So usually, in school, I will be, printing them out and having them in black and white for you. So if you find that you work better and you have a printer at home and you want to print them at home, that's fine. Or, just, use this as your reference and make sure that you are understanding your requirements. Okay. I broke it down into days here because I thought since we're not going to be together, it would be better if I break it down into what I believe you should be doing each day. Okay. So I said, day one, you need to start gathering your pictures for your monster, and then you can create your document. And then day two, then you start putting your monster together. Okay. The day one is quite a lengthy assignment because you're going to be getting your pictures. And I want to show you, well, I'll show you my desktop in a minute, but you need to get high resolution pictures, no cartoons. If you are going to use a cartoon image, it needs to be like more of a Pixar type image, more of a three-dimensional looking cartoon. I don't want you to use a flat image because it just looks weird when you're trying to have it match up with your photos. So I said no cartoons in here. But if you are using, well, I'll show you Big Bird's leg, or if you're using, I have Woody's in Toy Story's leg. So I'll mention that up here. Okay. And let's see what else. Okay. So just make sure that you look at the requirements. Accessories, you must have a minimum of 3, but definitely you can do more. And these are just some examples here, but clearly your family members probably can give you some help and some ideas. Okay. And let's see what else. Okay, so what you're going to start gathering images. So after you start getting your ideas, then go, to Google Images, or you're going to go to Unsplash or some of those other websites that I told you that have high resolution images. Okay. And you're going to, this is the Woody one that I was talking about. So if you are using, a cartoon image, make sure it's has depth. So I don't know if you can see that, this looks three-dimensional because it has form, right? Where a flat image, a cartoon image, would not work as well. So I'm trying to see if there's anything on here that I could show you, but I think you get the idea. Flat compared to more of a form, which is this type. Okay. And then also make sure that you're looking for the angles of the body. So, I wanted to basically do face forward, forward facing characters. So, this one here is a good example. So if you're in Google Chrome, then you're going to take your image and you're going to drop it up here. And you need to get a large, let's see, why is that? Let's see. Let me see if I drop that one. Is that the same? I thought I got a higher image. Shoot. Let's see, what is that size? It's not very large. I thought when I was doing mine, I found a higher one. Let's see. Okay, that's a little bit higher. Okay, so let me go through that again with you. Okay, so I use Rocky Balboa's body. So basically, what you want to do, you want to go here, and when you go here, size, then go to large. Okay, and then hopefully you can find a higher resolution image. Okay. And I definitely want you to find something that's a little bit higher than 1,000. 3,000, is a good image. But if it's only 1,000, you can use it. I mean, I used this one here, and it was okay. So anyway, so get all your images. Okay. And then basically what I did then is you can see, that I have them all here on my desktop. So you need to have at least 12, and I think I have like 14 or 15 here. So that's going to be, you're going to need to take some time because you need to find your background images as well. So, I'll just show you, I had used two different images for my background, and maybe your background might come to you after you make your monster, but clearly that's going to take some time to gather your images and to get high resolution images. Okay, so I got the earrings and the belt here, so you can see that it took me a while to get all that. So that's step one, okay, is gathering your images. And then what you're going to do then is you're going to then go ahead and start your start your project. So let's just go ahead and start. So file new. You're going to just start with your monster first. So I'm just going to say, what do I want to do? I'm going to say, I think I need it higher. So I'm going to do 10 inches by 12 inches high. So 10 inches wide by 12, or you could do the opposite, 150 RGB transparent. You're going to call it Frankenstein's. Oh, shoot, monster. And, oh gosh. And then space, last name, first name, and then give me your, I know it feels weird when you're not in school and you're doing this, but give me your period. I'll say period 1. And then 10 by 12. Okay, you can reverse those numbers, 150 RGB transparent, and hit create. Okay, so you have your transparent background. Then you're going to, what I would recommend then for you to do is then to open your images. So you can see that I already have this one opened, but I'll just show you. So go File, Open. And I would say you need to drag it in, then like I would say File, Open, and then bring it in that way. Okay, so I'll just show you that's the lobster, and then open. And then basically I would do all my cutting out within that image, and then I would bring it into this file here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and I'll start with Grumpy Cat here. And what you're going to do is you're going to take your lock off. So if you File, Open, so you open your image, turn off your lock, and then you're going to go select subject. And you guys already know this, so this is not anything new. This is all, basically this is a new project, but it's all everything that you've learned, right? Everything that I'm doing here with you, you've all learned before. So select subject, and then you want to go select and mask. Okay, and we were doing this before break, and you are going to come up here, and I would highly recommend if you have any cutouts that have like, here we have this like cat fur on the edge, so the overlay would be better for me to use. I'm going to come here and I'm going to grab my Refine Edge brush tool, and I want to make sure that I get all of that fuzzy cat hair on the edge. I'm just going around, and hopefully it's going to work for me. Okay, so now if I come here to my black and white image, I can see that, there's a little bit area here, and this is a little bit, so you can come in here and sort of use your minus brush and sort of patch things up, and then you can come, oh, let's see what's happening there. Let's see. Okay, so it got a little bit too much of that, but that's fine because I'm going to show you something I'm going to do with that. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about that right now. I'll show you, I'm going to use my vector mask to clean that up. So I am going to keep my overlay here. And then what I'm going to do next is I don't want to put a feather on this because then I'll lose those gorgeous edges here. So you're going to have to decide if you need to do that yourself. Okay, so you look at your edge and make sure um, that you can that you will look at your edge and see, you don't want to have that white edge on the edge of your selection, which I'll show you another trick about doing that as well. Okay, and you're going to come down here to output settings. You're going to come down here to output, and then you're going to, I'm going to say, because I want to keep this cat fur there, I'm going to say new layer with layer mask, and then I'm going to hit OK. Okay, and then here is this image here, right? So now it looks like I cut it out, right? But it's all this black right here. So basically, I know I'm going to be using this head. This will be my head for my monster. So I might just take it over right now and drag it into my project. Okay, and then it's going to come here. Okay, Command T. I'm going to shrink it down. And then I'm going to bring it something like that, something that I can work with. Okay. Now, what I like to do is I like to have black as my background. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say Option Delete and fill that in because it's always good to see. Like I didn't even see that I had that edge there. So it's good to put a black on your bottom when you're cutting out things, and you can just turn that on and off. See, like before I couldn't see it, but now that I have the black there, I'm like, oh, that looks horrible. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do is I just want the head, and I don't want this body part here. So I'm going to work in my mask here, right? I'm going to get my brush. I have a soft round brush, 100% up here, and I'm going to bring my size down. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm in here, and I'm just going to get rid of that, right? And get rid of this. And I know that I don't need to have all of that, right? So I'm just going to get rid of this. And you can see that the cat's fur is still showing here, which is what I want, right? So I'm just going to leave it a little bit bigger because I'm going to then eventually come in and clean that up a little bit more and probably, but I don't want to do it yet. Okay. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay. So basically that's going to be my head, right? That's going to be the head of the monster. And then I'm going to use Rocky's body. So this is the body I'm going to have. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come here, select subject. And I'm going to do the same thing and select and mask. Now, this one is going to be different because I was being super careful with the thing, but now look at it wasn't grabbing his belt. So what I'm going to do then is probably come down here and see about that. Let's see what's happening. Oh, let's see. Do I want? Nope. I'm going to use white. But basically, maybe I want to use this one here. Okay, so I'm going to use my paintbrush to help that area there. Let's see now. Let's see. And the marching ants, I could bring that out a little bit more. Okay, now I definitely am I don't want to have a horrible white edge on his body. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here with my feather, okay, and I'm going to put at least a 1, maybe 1.5, because I hate those white edges. And there I go. So then I'm going to do that. And what else do I want to do? Okay. So now I'm going to come down here, and I don't think I don't need to have a mask on this one. So I'm just going to say want it on a new layer. Okay. And I'm going to hit okay. So now there he is. He doesn't have the mask on it because I don't need to have it on that. So now I'm going to take him and I'm going to bring him into my new document here. And I'm going to need to shrink him, right? So Command minus, and then make sure you hold down Shift and Option when you drag it down. Okay, and remember we need to get a full body in this on this document paper here. So I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger. So I need to make sure I get legs, room for legs. Hit OK, and then clearly, and then don't forget to label everything. So I'm just going to say Grumpy Cat here. And then I'm just going to say Rocky here, because you're going to end up having many, many layers. Okay, I'm going to bring Grumpy up here, and then come over here, Command T, shrink his head. Okay, and then zoom in, see what in the heck am I doing here. Might want it a little bit bigger. Okay, and then now I'm going to now work in my mask, right? So now I'm going to come over here. I'm going to bring down this a little bit just so while I'm working here. And I'm just going to start seeing, because the good thing is, because it's a mask, I can always take it back with white. I'm just sort of seeing right now, do I like it like that before I commit to it? And then once I commit to it, then I can bring my opacity all the way up and make it a better selection. So I think I do like it like that. And then remember, if I take away too much, I can always bring it back, right? So I'm just going to bring, just sort of, I'm just doing this super fast right now for you. But clearly you can see that I spent a lot more time. I'm going to zoom in here on his face. So I wasn't just using a brush. I was trying to really keep that edge looking better. Let's see if I can show you a better example. But I was really trying not to have it just like so cut out like what I'm doing right now with you, right? So, because I don't want to take up all your time, I would come in and fix that, okay? So basically, you're getting the idea, right? Now, I do want to mention, well, you know what? I think I'll do it with Woody's legs. So now, basically, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. And then I want to talk to you about one thing that might help you. Okay. So basically, you're going to do the same thing. You know, I don't need to have all of this here. So what I'm going to first do, I think I'm just going to first grab my lasso tool, or actually I'm just going to do this. I know I don't need the top part of Woody, so I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to do Command J. And then I'm going to just do select subject. Let's see what happens. Okay, and then do select and mask. Okay, and I know that I don't want Woody's hand here, so I'm going to come here and get the minus. I don't want that. Zoom in. Let's see. I'm going to be quite fast. It looks like that's good. Okay, I'm going to, oh, you know what? I'm not going to feather it because I do want to show you something. I'm just going to say, where do I want this to go? But I would definitely feather it, okay? But I'm not feathering because I want to show you something. So, wait a minute, where the heck? Okay, so new layer. Yeah, I'm not going to put a mask. I'm just going to say new layer. Okay, hit okay. And then I'm going to bring him in to my project. Okay, so now he's going to come in, and clearly his legs are a little small, so I need to make sure Command T, make them bigger. Okay. And then clearly you can see that I am going to need to move things up a little bit. Maybe even bring that. You're getting the idea. Okay. So you're getting the idea. Okay, now I do want to show you something. Okay, now when I'm going to come over here, make a mask, and I see this right there. I'm like, that looks horrible. So I'm just going to take my brush, and it looks like I'm erasing, but I'm actually in my mask here. Now I do want to show you. Oh, I noticed I did not clean that up. So I would do the same thing, right? I would come in here, take my brush, and make it nice and small, and then clean up that, get all that cleaned up. Okay, now you can see this horrible, horrible outline, right? That looks horrible. So what I'm going to do, I hope this works. Okay, so if you have this horrible outline, one way of getting rid of it is going here to layer. Let's see, I hope this works. And then come down to matting, and then you can come over here. So layer, matting, and defringe. And I would say probably start with, they say to start with one, but I'm going to say two just because I want to make sure that this works for me. But I would say start with one, and then if one doesn't work, then you could do two or three. And it got rid of it. Oh my gosh, that worked. So I don't know. It got rid of my white, horrible edge. So let me do that one more time with you. Okay. So you can see there's the white edge, right? There it is. Looks horrible. And make sure that you're selected in the image here. I'm going to do layer, come down, do it again, matting, and then come over here to fringe. I'm going to say 2 pixels, and then hit OK, and there it goes. It's gone. So that's another trick for you. But I would say probably feather first, and then you might not even have to even do that part. Okay, so clearly you can see that I need to make some adjustments and things like that, but that's the beginning, right? And I also want to mention to you, if you notice that your pictures are looking, off, like you can see Rocky's body is looking quite tan, right? And don't forget, you can do you could do I was showing you in school, which was Shift Command B, which is a destructive editing, right? But if I come back and undo that, I can come down here and go to my adjustment layer. I could go to color balance, right? And then I could, adjust the color balance, and you could see that, his chest is quite red, right? So if I make it greener, maybe take that red and make it a little bit, it looks a lot better. And then if for some reason it's changing everything underneath it and you only wanted to change only that one layer, make sure you put a clipping mask on it. And that little arrow is only changing Rocky and not changing, Woody's legs here. Okay. Okay, so I think you're getting the idea of what I did here. So basically, I used many, many different things. I used Big Bird's leg here. I used the lobster claw here. And then I brought in my background. And I think I'm going to leave the background and the accessories for the next video. And I want to make sure that you are just concentrating on getting your proportions right and making sure that you're doing a good job cleaning up your edges and really zooming in and spending your time on, you know, some really clean work, right? Because um, it looks better when you are really zooming in and getting your edges nice and clean. Okay. And it's going to take a while. Like, I'm not going to lie, this took me many, many hours doing this. And, I basically just want you to, I know you don't have me with you in school, but I want you to just get better, just improve your skill. And if you have any questions, just you can go to YouTube and say, how do I, put something on here? Like I was using a mask here when I was using the beads here, right? So when I was putting the beads on his hand and I was using puppet warp. And so things that you're not quite familiar with, there's a million videos out there, and basically you can watch the video and learn things. And that's basically how I learned. So I just want you to improve your skill and to get better and to um you have fun with this, and then we're going to talk about the shadows later on. So just yeah, just have fun with it. And basically, don't get frustrated at the beginning, and just know that it's going to, come eventually, and have fun with it. Okay. So that's all I'm going to do for now. And then I will come back. And after you get all your body parts put together, then I will come back and talk about accessories, and then your shadow and your background. Okay. So that's all for now. Have fun and talk to you soon. Okay. Bye.